So you're rejoining us with 3:50 left in the first half. Lakers still trailing by 3, 38 Carver, 35 to the Lakers. But the Lakers had a little bit more momentum towards the end, so hopefully they'll come out with that same prowess. And the foul called there on Malik Gibbons.
I'm not sure if Taylor was outside of the restricted area on that one.
His first personal.
And it's dipped in there. One bounce and in with some good work there by number 14, Jalen Taylor.
Good finish by Taylor, but he needs to keep the ball high.
And a good steal, yeah. Nate Powell with pace, and the dunk is nice, and the crowd love that. And maybe that's the energy that the Lakers really need. They take the lead for the first time, I think, in the entire game, pretty much. Now 39 to 38, and now they really need to build on that. Number 12 into the box, and the foul's going to be called. Of course it is.
It seemed like a travel.
Number 14 of the Lakers, Jalen Taylor.
Jalen Taylor not impressed with the call there, begging the referee to change his mind, but he's not going to. Number 12 going to the line here. Jamiri Evans is good. So that lead lasted about 3 seconds. 41-39 they trail, but it's still a close game. And some good ball movement, and the jumper no good, but the rebound almost tipped in there. But somehow Carver will come out with the ball. This is number 3, Savion Edwards. And with the three-point attempt, no good. And a good rebound there under the basket. Good work by Jalen Taylor. And
Great shot by Council. Great shot.
And the timeout called. Carver's coach is not very happy at all over there. With, I believe that's number 20, Caleb McRae, getting a little bit of an earful from his coach, but the Lakers certainly will be happy with those phases of play. They're up by 1, 42 to 41, with 2:11 left in the half. And returning back after that timeout, Carver possession. A 1-point ball game right now, 2 minutes and ticking left in the first half. And Malik Gibbons, and he's done that twice now, somehow.
Great finish by Gibbons.
Impossible angles it seems, but McKee just turns that over.
The Lakers are getting back to playing Carver's game. They're getting back to playing Carver's game.
Let's see what they can do here. Number 12, and it's a good fake, and he does well there. That's Aubrey McRae, the D1 transfer we talked about. Savion Edwards here. Evans on the ring. And I agree with you, the guarding just doesn't seem to be aggressive enough. It's just very casual.
Very casual, no hands. Hands are low, no talking on defense. The Lakers are playing the number 2 team nation their next game. They definitely need to pick it up.
And that's going to be a hard game, and with no disrespect to Carver, this isn't the best preparation for that. You know, you can't go from playing a lower, lesser team, and that's no disrespect to Carver, like we say, but they're a scrappier team, to a D2 nation. If you do that against number 2 in the nation, then it's not going to make pleasant reading for Lakers supporters.
And granted, it is their first game, and they're also missing a couple of key players. However, they do still need to just settle down get the ball inside, get to the free throw line, and just use your length and your size to your advantage against a smaller team.
And if you're disheartened by the fact you don't have some of your stronger players, that should be motivation for them. The players that might not necessarily usually be starting need to use this as their chance to show Coach Link and pose some difficult questions for him when it comes to game time when the whole squad's back.
Most definitely.
Nate Powell. Let's put in. And
Great pass by Powell. Great pass. Great seal by Owens and great pass by Powell.
No, it's a little bit more patient by the Lakers. They didn't rush it, and it worked in their favor. 46 to 43, 20 seconds. So I believe Carver will just let the shot clock tick down. So this should be the last offense of the play potentially. We've got 10 seconds left in the game. Savion Edwards.
Horrible defense. Horrible defense by the Lakers.
They parted. They just had all the space in the world for Savion Edwards. And the long shot hits the board, but it's not good enough. And the Lakers will go in at halftime 46 to 45. And I'll certainly say, as much as they're losing, I would imagine Carver's coach is going to be the happier of the two.
Most definitely. Allowing 45 points and a half in collegiate basketball is unacceptable.
So if you were Coach Link now, how would you motivate your players? What would you say to them to try and improve?
Well, I know Coach Link is not the one that's as much as upset as the assistant coach, Coach Ignatz. He's the coach for the defense, and I know he's furious right now giving up 45 points to a Carver College team.
Well, that marks the first half, the first opening game at the Lock. Clayton State currently 46 to 45 against Carver College, and we'll be back in a short minute. And welcome back to the season opener here at the Lock. Clayton State men's basketball team taking on Carver College in this, the first game of their season. A tricky first half for the Lakers, a little bit disappointing performance, but they did come into the half 46-45 to the better, and now they really need to look to improve on that and concede less and score more. Simple as that.
Yeah, they got a whole half of basketball under their belt, so they should settle down and play their game now this half like that.
So let's hope they can continue as they started there. A simple basket. Denzel Council, the senior, leaving his impact already. Here's Malik Gibbons.
The Lakers are still very nonchalant on defense.
But that was a good rebound there by Nate Powell, I think, got up and smacked it against the backboard, and the through look there by number 35 Council, just a little ambitious, and he turns it over.
And that's normally the issue when one of your forwards or one of your bigs decides to dribble the ball up instead of getting into a guard.
You just got to kind of stay in your zone, know how you should be playing.
Region foul on number 2, Justin Tuckson, his 4th personal.
And that's the 4th foul there, according to the tannoy. So 4 fouls, you're in foul trouble really, aren't you?
Deep foul trouble. One more foul and he's out of the game.
And it's still 19
minutes. We just started
minutes.
the second half.
So he's gonna, I think he's gonna have to sit for at least a few minutes now. And that just trickled over, and a good rebound under the basket by Council, and Nate tosses it against his feet. Not sure the Carver player could have really got out of the way of that one, but Council will toss it in, and McKee turns and just turns into 3 Carver players around him.
Just dribbled into 2 players.
Let's show some good compact defending by Carver. And the 3-pointer attempt, no good, and McKee will come away with it. And the call, you could see on the field, McRae telling him to slow down and wait for him to get into position, but he just rushed it.
Yes, that's like I just said before. It's normally the issue when one of your forwards decides to dribble the ball up instead of getting into a guard. But when you get into a guard, something like that happens.
And the Lakers just need to distribute the ball better to the players that need to be dribbling with it, and good things will happen. So we'll have an and one here for Jamil McKee, the junior.
To the line for a possible 3-point play, number 5, Jamil McKee.
And that just goes to show you the level of competition that they're playing. The Lakers are up by 5, and they've played pretty much a subpar game this entire game. And now they're up 7.
And Council did well there. The rebound was nice, and a timeout will be called, and Carver have just kind of imploded here in the first 2 minutes of the half. They were just 1 point down, and now, like you say, Mike, a 7-point lead. So I'm sure the Carver coach will be trying to rally his troops up and make sure they don't now plummet into a bigger deficit. And back to action over after that timeout. 18-17 left in the ball game. Lakers now with a 7-point lead, but they can't take their foot off the gas because we've seen the threat that Carver can be in this first half.
I think that full head of steam that Carver came out with has pretty much died off, and
yeah, there's definitely
gonna have control of the game down the stretch.
And you got to think endurance-wise. You know, you build up your endurance through a season. This is the first 40 minutes of basketball either team will have played, so I feel like Carver might have given all their gas the first half, and they just trade off now a little bit.
Actually, Carver's already played 7 ball games. This is their 8th game, so. Really?
I don't understand how they played 7 games already.
Well, with them being in the National Christian Collegiate Athletic Association, they have different rules.
Well, so Carver should have the endurance and be used to playing, so.
Right, they play in the NCCAA instead of the NCAA, which we all know and love.
Now Carver coming into this game 0-7, so really I feel like their heads are going to drop if the deficit gets any bigger because they're used to losing games now.
They're used to losing games, exactly. That's why you didn't want to get them any confidence in the beginning of the game.
Now here's McKee making a break, and he loops it over to Council. Council, one bounce in the paint, and up it goes, and he's done that twice now. He's looking up calmer this half.
As you can see, the talent differential is definitely substantial. Clayton State definitely has way more talent on their roster from what I've seen than the Carver College Cougars.
And that has to come down to recruiting. It must be a lot easier to recruit as an NCAA school to a Christian school, and that's no disrespect, but the league that everyone dreams of playing when it comes to college sport is the NCAA, of course. So Nate Powell here creates the kickball there. Nate Powell just getting a little frustrated with his teammates. I think he wanted more options. Finds McKee this time. And that was exactly what we talked about earlier. As much as it didn't go in, it's better build-up play. They're going in to go out.
In and out.
And you create that space there. So it's an easy look there for McRae.
At this point in the game, the Lakers really need to impose their will on the other team and let them know that they can't play with them.
Definitely, and as you mentioned, Clayton State playing #2 in the nation next. This is a real time for them to get into the game and try a few things. Once the lead is comfortable enough, you can have a few experiments because you need to see what's going to work against a stronger team.
Right, it's about creating good habits. You want to create good habits. You want to create a culture of doing things the right way on the court. Like that, getting turnovers, making the other team make bad decisions. You want to create a culture of that on the court. You want your team to get used to doing good things and used to having the other team make mistakes against you all as defense.
And you mentioned how disappointing it was that they conceded 45 points in the first half. Well, they haven't conceded yet, and we're 4 minutes in to the half, and that's the better habits. Defensive coach will be a lot happier with that, I'm sure. And Council with the three-point attempt is no good, but Powell's going to grab the rebound. Changes direction, and the foul is called. And the Lakers moving the basketball a lot more convincingly now.
Yes, the Carver College Cougars seem gassed, and there's still 16 minutes left to go in the second half, so it should be interesting for the Lakers to see how to capitalize on their fatigue.
So number 12 here, Aubrey McRae at the line. McRae yet to shoot from the free throw line, so this will be his first few. And it's good.
McRae has a nice stroke. I've seen him in practice shooting, and I've seen him working out on his own. He definitely has a nice shot coming from the Division I Georgia Southern.
And he'll be brimming with confidence, really. I think making that drop should help his confidence because he's used to playing against the so-called stronger team, so he'll come into Division II feeling like he can really make an impact.
We'll see what he does next week against the number 2 team in the Division II.
And that's what you see. Exactly, you see the difference.
You won't really see what you're made of against them. I know firsthand. I played against them last year, and they were no joke. We actually were winning at the beginning of the second half, and then they came back and ended up beating us by 10 points, I think.
And that's the endurance and just that little bit of probably consistency they had.
And they were getting some calls, too. They were at home, so.
Someone might be a little bitter about that game.
Right.
But fingers crossed the Lakers can really make an impact against them, because that'll be a real good, it's early on in the season. If you can get a good result against a strong team, that does wonders for your confidence for the rest of the season.
Most definitely.
So it's a 10-point game right now, 55-45. Carver yet to get on the scoreboard this half. And the shot hits the rim, and Nate Powell will drive, finds McKee, it's switched over. And that's turned over it. Interesting pass, and the Lakers can breathe a sigh of relief.
Just sloppy play on both ends.
And now there's a little bit of tension on the court, it seems, a little bit of disruption in the team. And I can say in soccer that can be healthy when you're getting on each other's backs a little bit, because it shows you care and you're trying to communicate the issue, but it may also be counterproductive to have those sort of arguments going on the court.
Right, it's about finding a balance. You want to be intense, but you want to be tense. You want to, play hard, but you don't want to play too hard to where you're out of control. You want to try to find that happy medium, that balance to where you're playing hard, but you're still being smart and efficient.
And you got to raise your teammates rather than making them too nervous. If you get on their back every time they make an error, then they're going to continue to make those errors.
Most definitely.
So in this timeout, we are 10 points up, 55-45, 15-41 on the clock. Clayton State versus Carver.
And we're back with the Clayton State Carver College matchup. Clayton State seems to do a better job this half of getting the ball inside.
And we have mentioned that Carver's tired, so it does make it a lot easier to have an offense successful against a tired defense. Carver kind of gave everything to stop the Lakers scoring early on, but now it seems that they're blown out. Just slipped away from number 42 there, Jesse Haynes.
And if you're the Lakers, you don't want to be satisfied with this. Yes, you're up 12, but you're playing against a 0-7 Carver College team. You want to concentrate on trying to do everything right, the little things, trying to create good habits like I was saying earlier, so it can give you some momentum and some progress going into your next game.
Yeah, they say practice makes permanent, so it's really important that they continue to do what they want to keep doing for the rest of the season. And Nate Powell with a jumper in the paint, but number 42, Jesse Haynes, got up well there to block it. And Haynes there. Oof. And Nate Powell down. And somehow that's oh no, just about made it in, it appears. And Nate Powell with the work to find Noreen, and the three is no good.
And I think Naren needs to try to do a better job of taking more quality shots. He definitely can shoot the ball from the outside, but if it's not falling, try to get a one-dribble pull-up, try to get to the free throw line so you can see the ball go in a little bit more, just to help build your confidence.
Definitely, it must be not the most confidence building if you continually miss the shot. So Naren needs to get on the scoreboard just like that.
Just like that, just like that. That's the point.
So Carver Still just 2 points so far in this half that sees the Lakers lead extend to 12 points. So they'll be happy to see that with 14 left in the game. And Clayton State will have possession after that call from the referee.
Jalen Taylor in the game for Denzel Council.
A little bit of squad rotation for the Lakers here. Nate Powell, a senior now, made his impact on Clayton State already. And Nern with a good catch. And they switch it to McKee. McKee into the paint, and the dunk is good.
Great job, great dunk.
And you can't help but ask why they didn't move the ball like that in the first half of the game. They're looking far more confident now.
McKee is definitely a high flyer.
Blocking foul on Carver.
And the foul called there. Number 3 picking up a foul. Savion Edwards rather. And Edwards was the player that really stood out early on for Carver, but the Lakers have managed to keep him quiet so far, and we'll have a timeout with 13:27 on the clock. Lakers extend their lead to 61-47, and we'll be back in just a minute. So rejoining here, Nate Powell ready to put this ball into play. And he loops it, and a nice little cheeky play there by the Lakers to get 2 more points. 63-47, they lead.
Easy play against a smaller Carver team.
Gibbons, former Laker, as we mentioned earlier. He almost thought he had them earlier on, but not today for Gibbons. And Nate Powell finds Nern switches. Ooh, and he made that. He went between 2 Carver players and left them like statues. A good work there by Jalen Taylor.
You definitely can see the talent differential in the 2 teams.
And I think a lot of that has to do with, you know, better players have more endurance. And okay, Carver stuck with the Lakers for the first 20 minutes roughly, but now the Lakers are really exceeding. And Jakal Owens with the rebound, loops it over, and the Lakers are getting far more time this half on the ball.
Foul is on number 24, Isavir Aldridge. Re-entering the game, Chris Denny for Carver.
So Aldridge picking up the foul there, and that'll see him subbed out. Chris Denny back in. And the referee postponing that play, stopping.
Seems they have an issue with the shot clock.
And he wants it reset to 24 seconds rather than the 30, I believe.
23 seconds.
That second could make all the difference, of course. So they try the same trick, and in it goes, twice in a row.
Taylor.
That's just simple. That's 6'5" against 5'11". 6'6" against 5'11". You can't beat that.
And number 20 there puts in the second basket, Caleb McRae.
And see, that's just terrible. You don't want to have to let the other team get any easy buckets like that. I don't care who you're playing.
Because the thing is, if you get into habits conceding baskets like that in a game that's just 2 points, that's the difference between a win and going to overtime. So the Lakers really need to realize that, again, conceding another easy basket.
Another easy basket.
And against a number 2, if you let them score baskets like that, they're going to whitewash you.
The Carver College Cougars looking like they're getting into a fouling match now. Now all it seems like they can do is foul the other team.
Well, when you're losing by, what is it, 17, 18 points like Carver are, you know, you kind of lose your head a little bit. It's very frustrating to be down by that many points, but the Lakers really need to keep pushing and not stoop to their level. Just because they're fouling and they're not playing ball doesn't mean that the Lakers shouldn't. And rejoining us, Carver trying to take a little extra minute in that timeout. Referee not too impressed with them, urging them to get back on the court. 11:29 left in the ball game today. Lakers leading 69-51 with 11:29 left in the game.
I know their coach knows that they're fatigued out there. I'm pretty sure he tried to give them a couple extra seconds of rest before they went back out there on the court.
Every second counts, particularly when you're down, and you're just trying to cover now. Really trying to keep the score respectable, I'm sure. No one wants to lose by 30, 40 points. So Carver just trying to keep it in. And McKee took a couple of bounces, but it just about went in. McKee was 0-1 from the line, now 1-1. Let's see if he can make it 2-1. And he does, 75% here. Carver just moving the ball in the paint, and he turns and jumps, and
that's just too easy. Nobody tried to front the ball. It wasn't no active hands on defense. The Clayton State Lakers definitely need to work on their defense if they plan on making any substantial noise in the Peach Belt Conference this season.
Because the thing is, they conceded 45 points in the first half, and now Carver, exhausted, they've still managed to score 8. They've had 4 simple buckets. And they're asking for active hands from defensive coach there, but they're just not seeming to listen today.
Way too nonchalant on the defensive end.
Because it's got to be off-putting having, and honestly, the Carver hands look better than the Clayton State hands on defense.
They're definitely playing more scrappy, as you can see, forcing more turnovers on defense. The Lakers are just way more talented than Carver.
And interestingly, though, Carver's still shooting at a better percentage than the Lakers. It's just that the Lakers are getting more shooting opportunities. Carver at 51.5% from the field and 44.4% from the free throw. Lakers at 40% from the field and just 26% from the three-point line. So honestly, the Lakers are getting a lot of chances, but they're not converting them. Against a stronger team where you may not get so many chances, those sort of statistics are concerning.
And when an inferior team like this is still shooting above 50% from the field, that's when you know you're having defensive issues.
Because you're letting them take those easy shots.
They're taking and making easy shots. A 50% shooting is great.
So we've definitely heard the coaches urging for more active hands. So we'll see when they Carver get their next attacking play, whether they adapt and listen to their coaches, because it's clearly a weakness in their game right now. And finally, one of the taller players got the rebound there. And that was a good McKee, some good defense under the basket there, and Nate Powell break, and a nice, almost a nice basket there by Nate.
Good finish by number 44. The Lakers just need to take their time. They're playing Carver's game. They're going back into playing Carver's game. Now they're only up 17 when they should be up by at least 25 points.
Yeah, Carver just cutting away at that deficit, and I'm not trying to foreshadow that Carver have any hope in this game of winning, but they're cutting away at the point deficit, and that doesn't look good for Clayton State.
Foul on Carver, number 3.
Jakar Owens at the line. This is his first season playing as a Clayton State Laker. Last year he was a junior college transfer who had to sit out a season, and this will be his first year playing. Jakar actually played formerly at Queens University, the number 2 team in the nation that they'll be playing next week.
So he knows what they've got. He'll be able to tell the boys, you know, this is a serious game. For those that haven't played it before, don't underestimate this team. They're number 2 for a reason.
They're number 2 for a reason, most definitely. I played against them last year, and they were no slouch. They definitely were well coached and well trained.
And he makes the second there, Jakar, and that'll see him exit the court rather. Cancel back on. So 77-59 the score. But Carver, fair play to them, still looking to go forward, and they're not getting too demoralized, which is impressive. And the shot hits the rim, but it's caught there by Jakar.
One thing about this Clayton State roster, they're very experienced. All of their players, pretty much except for 1, maybe 2, have collegiate basketball experience, whether it be junior college, whether it be another collegiate institution, or whether it be here at Clayton State. They all have some kind of college basketball experience. So for them to come out and play.
Definitely. There's just 2 freshmen on the roster, which is a very mature roster, which is looking good. And honestly, there's 1, 2, just 3 seniors, so it's looking like it's a building program. Having those juniors, it means you get 2 years to work with this squad at least. So the Lakers looking obviously for this season, but it looks good to build, and Link will be able to work with the coaches, the people.
Re-entering for the Lakers, Jakar Owens. Also
so another timeout call, 7:30 on the clock. Lakers up 80-61, and we'll be back in a minute. We're reaching the last 7 minutes and 30 seconds of this game. Clayton State's season opener, 80-61.
Council leading the way with 20 points and 7 rebounds.
It's a nice steal there by Jakal Owens. And put up and returned, and some good work there by number 22, Jakal Owens. Redshirt junior. Hasn't played college ball for a year, like you said, sat out, so he's going to be really motivated to leave his mark now. A bit of an air ball there by Carver, and Nate Powell able to break. Link urging them to move forward a little quicker. Council ups it, but back out.
He definitely should have exploited that mismatch on him, Owens. He's about 6'6", and he had about a 5'9" guy on him. He definitely should have exploited that mismatch.
Yeah, Carver, a pretty small team out there right now. Number 42 looks to be the tallest player, and he's just 6'3". In fact, the tallest player on their roster, number 10, 6'4". So it's a pretty small roster out there for Carver.
Pretty small.
And it's no good, and that wasn't even close, was it? He's 1 and 3, 1 and 4 now from the free throw line, and that's not good enough there, is it?
Yeah, missing 2 free throws is almost as bad as a turnover.
And the foul called there. Looked like Carver was almost about to tip that in, but he didn't quite make it. Now foul called on Denzel Council. Second foul there for Council. And it's looped long. Just keeps that in. And cuts into the paint and puts it up, and it's easily done. And he's down. I'm not sure what happened there, but doesn't look too good down there. He hasn't moved.
Seems his number 24, Aldridge.
So hopefully he's okay, because that just looked like there was no one around him, and it's strange that he dropped like that. So it looks like his ankle or his foot.
He definitely went to the ground awkwardly.
And actually, AJ, Clayton State's athletic trainer, gone over to have a look at him. They're trying to take the shoe off. And we'll hope he's okay.
Seems as if he rolled his ankle to where they're tying the shoe tighter. He probably just rolled his ankle, probably came down on somebody's foot wrong or something of that degree.
Well, just 6:19 left in the game, so hopefully he can tough it up. If you're a Carver supporter anyway, you'll hope that he'll toughen up, because you need your players on the court. Looks like he'll take a couple of minutes to sit down. Definitely his ankle, the way he's limping off there.
Yeah, it seems to be a mild ankle sprain. I've had tons of those in my career playing.
AJ, famous for taping ankles, that's for sure. So Council to toss it in, straight to Nate Powell. And I noticed Tuckson's been given the nod. He is on 4 fouls, but they've given him the last 6 minutes. Let's see if he can stay out of foul trouble. 1 foul left.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely in foul trouble. 1 more foul, and he's out the game.
Ball.
Powell beats 1, beats 2, beats 3, and into the paint, and oof.
Good drive by Powell.
And
Great
that's good follow-up. Exactly, and we mentioned they needed to be stronger in the rebounding, and that's the kind of thing you need. You need your bigger players to get up around that basket.
Yes, against a team like Carver, the big should be wiping the glass clean every time.
For Returning, number 21, Christoph Naren.
And Nate Powell taking a little breather. Naren coming in. And I'm interested. 6 minutes left. I would have thought that Coach Link might have, you know, dug a little deeper into the bench. But you know what? It's 23 points, but you just never know with the way the Lakers are playing right now. They're giving up some easy buckets, that's for sure.
Well, I don't think he's allowing the guys to keep playing, running the risk of the other team making a comeback. I think he's really just trying to get his guys used to playing in the game setting, especially since they're playing against the #2 team in the nation next week.
And you're right, the guys just need minutes. They haven't got minutes under their belt, so as much as you would want to play if you're on the bench, you realize that the starters just need to get that game time, because that's the only way. You can practice all you like, but nothing gives you game experience like a game. So someone just got in big foul trouble, right? Someone's disqualified for the game, I believe, I just heard. So I'm guessing that's number 3. Oh, number 12?
Number 12 for Carver.
So that's Evans, the freshman. So Tuxson for the Lakers. Needs to be careful too. That's a good free throw there, Denzel Council. He's at 8 for 9, so pretty decent shooting there by Council. And he gets the rebound too, so Council really the standout player for the Lakers today, I would say, statistically at least.
Most definitely. What does he have, 25, 26 points?
Pretty close.
Council was the leading scorer for Armstrong State University last season as well.
And that's a good little transfer there. Of course, Armstrong folding their athletic program, which means that he doesn't have to sit out a year. Usually, if you transfer within conferences, you'd have to sit, but Council able to play because of the situation with Armstrong.
I definitely remember Council from last season. He definitely was a difference maker for that Armstrong team when we played against him last season. Great pickup for the Lakers this season.
The foul called, and Coach Link not too impressed with the referee there. Foul 22, Jakal taking a foul there. And we'll see a timeout here with 3:55 left on the clock. Lakers 91-68. Will they make 100 points? You would imagine so, right?
They should. They definitely should.
And we'll be back in a short moment. Rejoining with 3:55 left in the game. Season opener, Clayton State v. Carver. Jessica Charman and Mike Scott.
2 shots for Chris Denny.
Number 44, Chris Denny at the line here. He's got some impressive totals. He's actually at 29 points, so he has a good proportion of his team's points. And he'll keep that up to 70 points. Carver.
I know Coach Egnatz is livid right now.
And we mentioned opening up the squad depth. Well, number 0 is now on. That's Moses Williams, the freshman out of Augusta, Georgia. 6'6", making his first appearance as a Clayton State Laker.
And he's a freshman walk-on, so he originally wasn't recruited here to play here. He came to the school, walked on, and ended up making the team. Ended up actually getting a little bit of scholarship money too, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, fair play to him. That's some impressive stuff. And it's always a bonus when you can get some walk-on players, because there's nothing wrong with having extra squad depth. Actually, in front of us, another new player looks to be getting ready. Is that Obi Udeza?
Udeza's another junior college transfer.
I was going to say, I think that looked like it might have gone out of bounds.
Well, I'm not sure what the rules are, because it definitely didn't hit the glass. Normally it has to hit the glass for it to be considered out of bounds. It didn't touch the glass. And
it just went behind, it looked like.
It's definitely an impressive shot. It was an impressive shot by Nair.
And Coach Link not happy about that. It looked like it defied gravity, honestly. It kind of moved crazy, but...
I call those horse shots. Those shots when you make you playing horse with your friends and you're just trying to do something to give the other person a letter.
But 93 to 72, you can start playing those letter points. So that's what Coach Link's saying, repeating the rule you said, Mike, that if it doesn't touch the glass, then it shouldn't be out of bounds. And the three-pointer is good. That's a lovely shot there by Aubrey McRae. I think he mentioned he can shoot earlier on, and he's really starting to show that now. And the freshman loops it in, and you know what? That's a great first play by the freshman, Moses Williams.
Great pass, great finish.
And they're just keeping it simple in there, and sometimes that's what you get when you bring in a player that might not be expecting to play. They're going to do everything coach wants because they want to show that they can listen and they can do as he says. And Williams grabs that rebound.
Carver just seems demoralized now. They seem like they're just ready to go home. They don't want to play anymore.
They'll be excited for this 1 minute and 53 seconds to be done.
Over. Re-entering the game for the Lakers, number 21, Christoph Nair.
Number 2 for Carver is just shooting the ball, trying to get some points before the game is over, I see.
Entering the game for Carver, number 20, Caleb McCreary. Also entering the game, number 12, Jamiri Evans.
So 72-98, Lakers getting close to that 100 total. And the three-pointer.
Terrible defense by
jumper back, yeah. Just a little too easy for them. And as we've mentioned time and time again, you get away with that against a team when you can score 100 points, but in a much closer ball game, those are the points you give up that cost you a game. That's some better passing, and another nice finish by McRae. And McRae tottling up his point total now. And he shot pretty well so far. And
another basket for the Carver College Cougars.
And you know what? We said they'd given up, but they're still posing some sort of threat to the Lakers. Final minute of play here. Moses Williams moving the ball.
Moses Williams trying to get his first collegiate bucket of his career.
And seemed to deflect off a Carver player there. They seemed surprised themselves. They were going back to defend.
Moses definitely should look to be aggressive these last 52 seconds.
And the timeout called. 52.9 on the clock. Lakers leading 101 to 76, and we'll be right back for that last minute of action in a minute. So last minute of action here at the lock, 52.9 seconds on the clock. Lakers leading 101-76 against Carver College.
And Craig coming off that screen hard, trying to get him another pump.
And look at him celebrate that first bucket of his collegiate career.
First bucket of his collegiate career.
The freshman walk-on here, getting his first minutes, and he scores a bucket, and he was delighted. And that's nice to see what it means to him. But a foul called here on number 14. That's Jalen Taylor picking up a foul.
Moses is a kid that definitely seems like he has a lot of heart. He plays with a lot of energy in practice. So hopefully throughout, as the year goes on, he gets more minutes down the stretch.
Definitely, and he's come in and he's proven himself.
Number 14, Jalen Taylor, his fourth.
And that's what these games are about. They are about seeing people that might not necessarily get enough game time and seeing them and seeing if they'll be able to compete in later games. And the free throw was good there. Lakers conceding again, so it's not the complete destroying, competent game that we thought we might see. The Lakers have plenty to work on in practice before their next game, that's for sure, but they'll still be happy with the victory, I'm sure.
A win is always good. You always want to get a win under your belt.
The win is first, the performance is second, but, you know, as they run the clock down, there'll be a couple of what-ifs, what they should have done differently, and what they need to improve on when it comes to more serious games. And that was a nice shot there.
Great shot by Naren.
So
we call that padding your stats. When the game is pretty much out of reach, but you still get you some more points added to your point total.
Definitely, and that's the end of the opener. Clayton State 106, Carver 78. Carver drop to 0-8. The Lakers move forward to 1-0, their first win of the season. And yes, as we said, plenty to work on, but they'll be happy with the win. That's us for now. Jessica Charman, Mike Scott, thank you for listening.